Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
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 All right. We're live. We're live and direct from London, the Effective House, Effective Fam.
Yes.
We are in the house. It's been a beautiful, beautiful day in London, so the energy is very good. We had a training yesterday, which went very well. We are just in the zone, in the element right now. We have a match tomorrow against National League futsal opposition, Effective FC versus Pro Futsal London, and there's lots of things to be excited about with Effective FC, with everything, with football, with Train Effective Academy, with everything is happening, guys. And this summer, it's all happening. Everything. Um, Speaking of what's happening this summer, the In Residence program, by the way, guys, if you ever wanted to come to London to train like a professional and get coached by legend himself, Mr. John Moses, and be around us in this house and even appear on one of these live streams and ask questions, but like actually live, like one on one, where there's no cameras or anything. This is a chance. London, Train Effective, in residence. Go to traineffective.com and you'll see a link at traineffective.com for Stay With Us. And if you go there, you'll see all the details about when that's happening, why it's happening, what's happening. We got really cool things now where we have this like scout partnership going on with the PFSA, with UK football trials, with a lot of different things where you can come and get noticed. Right, Corby?
100%. Yeah.
100. Let's get right into things with the topic of the day, Mr. Corby.
Yep.
Last week we had a presentation, a live class on how to get a trial, the 7 steps on how you get a football trial. Today is going to be a little bit different because it's about once you've secured the trial, about what to do, how to prepare for it, what to do on the day. If you haven't already listened to how to get a trial, maybe you want to find a new club this summer or whatever. Make sure you check out how to get a football trial. Have we published that on our YouTube yet?
I don't think so. No.
I don't think
Not yet.
it's going to be published this week. So stay tuned for that, and it's going to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Train Effective now has a podcast, so make sure you go to SoundCloud, type in Train Effective podcast, and you'll find it there. But let's get right into things, guys. Hey, Morris. Hey, everybody watching on YouTube. Hey, Effective Academy. Today's topic is going to be how to prepare for a trial, and we have myself and Corby telling you guys all about what to do, how it works. Corby, do you want to tell a bit about your experience in this?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I thought about it earlier today when like preparing for this. Pretty sure I've had at least, well, probably like 10 to 15 trials in my life. And yeah, all of them have been actually with pretty decent clubs, like obviously like Bayern Munich, like this whole thing that I did with them, and then 1860 Munich, which is like the second best team in
1860 Munich?
yeah.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, had quite a few trials with them actually, and they actually had at that point a better youth academy than Bayern. Yeah, then another club in the US. Yeah, and a few different clubs in Germany.
So Germany, the US, which is great because we can give like a European perspective and a perspective for all the Americans watching, because I know there's a lot of them watching. Like Zach Johnson. Hey Zach, how's it going?
What's up, Zach?
I myself, guys, I've also gone on many different trials, both with semi-professional, amateur, professional clubs, and just like Corby, he's done it in a couple of countries. I've had trials in Australia, Scotland, England, Hungary, Holland, England. Did I say England already? Everywhere. Germany even actually last year with TSV Entebroek. Watch the 100-day challenge, day 40 something. If you haven't seen that already, so if there's ever someone to explain to you guys how to prepare for a trial, I can definitely tell you the do's and don'ts of that. So there's the qualifications there,
Yeah.
and you've been successful and unsuccessful on trials.
Yeah, I'd say my success rate is probably at 75%.
Okay.
Which is all right.
Now
Yeah.
I think I have a little bit lower, between 60 and 70%, I would say. But that's why we're here to explain how to be successful, and let's say the most common reasons why you fail as well. So I mean, let's get right into it then. Transition scene here. And we also have Mr. John Moses himself, who has conducted these tryouts, who has played professionally at the highest levels, who has gone to tryouts and has succeeded and been the Cobra, as we call him in the house. He will be joining to give his best tips too. It's going to be very exciting, guys. Exciting. Let's start off with this. I just got it in the sheet in front of me. In order to prepare for a trial, I think you first got to know what coaches are looking for.
100%, yeah.
So once you know what coaches are looking for, you can kind of work backwards on how to prepare. Corby, what are coaches looking for?
I think we can actually get Mo in here as well for that question. I mean, he'd be the best person to answer that, even like having his scouting license.
Yeah.
So he'll definitely tell you more about it. I think from my experience, what scouts are looking for in especially trials, because I mean, obviously it's just like one session usually where they have to see if they want you in their team, or if they want to scout you, or like think that you're good enough. And so you have to find ways to stand out usually, otherwise, because they have to look at all these different players, and if you just play a solid match, which is good, but you have to kind of stand out, so it's like for him to like actually see you and then think, oh, okay, I want to have this guy on my team.
Yeah, I think number one goal is that, like, you have to stand out.
Yeah.
Now the different definition of standing out is is complex. I think there's not really a way to like singularly answer this.
Yeah.
But this is why we have John Moses. Please take the floor in explaining what is the secret key. I'm stepping out of the shop right now for Mo to come in. Sorry.
Hello everyone. Hello there. Yeah, you were talking about what coaches are looking for.
Yeah, so we've been in this spot like more. We've gone together. Actually, you see me actually perform in lots of different trials throughout Europe. I believe the first trial you accompanied me in Hungary was what was it? It was
Kostivotica.
Kostivotica,
yeah.
Me and Mo, about 7 years ago, we went to he got a trial for me at a second division club in Hungary. I was about 18 at the time, and he trained with he prepared me for this trial throughout the summer, and we went to this trial. We ended up going to this trial after working very hard. We went to this trial, and it was about 1 week. And I think, and you'd seen parts and bits of this trial because you accompanied me there. And in the end, I ended up basically succeeding because the coach wanted me back and training with the first team, getting offered a contract basically to play there, right?
Yeah.
And you were there with me on the first training.
Yeah, actually, you're gonna have to be. You as a player, you're gonna have to be very prepared. Even though There are going to be a couple of players there too. You're not going to be the only one that the coaches will be going to be looking at. But one thing I can tell you is that you need to be you need to be at the right spot. That is, prepare yourself, your body language. That's the first thing. Let me tell you something. Take that seriously. Coaches are not just looking at you going on the field and to show your skills or whatsoever, but you want to see how you approach the game. You want to see whether your shoelaces are tied, properly. You're not going to be like the kind of player, your shoelaces are just, flying up and down. You're gonna comport yourself very well with your teammates, and more especially on the discipline side as well. You're gonna get tackles, and more especially the referees. They're gonna be biased as well. They might not be actually, on your side. Maybe blowing against you in so many ways. But how you react to those stuff or things, these are the things that the coaches are always looking at. And your skill on the field, you're going to have to also be a team player. How you win the ball, when you lost the ball, and how you share, with your teammates, how you motivate your teammates, even when you are provoked on the field, how you react to that. You're going to have to be very, very careful. Coaches are also looking for players who are hardworking. Coaches do not like lazy players. Actually, I wouldn't. As a coach, I wouldn't like a player who is not committed to the game or whatsoever. You can be skillful, but once you do not have the fighting spirit, no. I need people who, coaches need people who are very committed, very, hardworking, and taking instructions. These are the steps that, coaches will always be looking at. They're looking at those strategic points where when they scout you, and then they take you to a club, and you're going to be able to fit the gaps that actually that would be in the hindrance of the coach of that team or even your teammate. So before you go for a trial, make sure, prepare yourself mentally. You're going to have to be always against the negative side as well, and also the positive side. The negative side could be also maybe the fans from around the stadium, shouting at you and your reaction towards them.
50,000 fans.
Yes, or a player pulling you, a player pulling you by your shirt and just to provoke you and to see you, whether to see you whether you're going to be in the kind of player who gets easily angry, then you come out with a kind of maybe fighting, maybe abusive language towards that player also, and so these are kind of things that you're going to have to be very careful with. So,
but you think that's a common thing? Players getting like in the heat of the moment, they really want to impress. We had a situation here. Actually, can you go in a little bit?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
come here. Yeah, sure.
We had a situation like on was it Friday, where there was a player or players, 16 players that came, and we had a scout that attended with Dave Hobson from the PFSA coming. Dave was a Manchester United scout, still scouting for Premier League teams, and he owns a huge organization called the PFSA, which gets players into clubs. And you can check out their website, pfsa.co.uk, to see when their next trial is. But he came to the trainings, and we definitely saw this kind of intensity in trainings where players will get more frustrated more easily because they knew they were kind of being watched. It's the same as if one of the players listening or watching this right now is thinking to themselves, well, I have to be more aggressive, I have to show more of myself, I have to maybe even feel that they're getting more angry or frustrated on the pitch so they can show someone or a coach or a scout that they really want this. But is that the right approach to be more aggressive in like the kind of trial situation? Like, how do you look at it as a coach, Mo?
No, you don't. You don't have to be. Look, you have to take everything normally. You don't have to be aggressive. Sometimes you might be a striker, and everyone expects you to score a goal, but the coaches to understand that it's not in every match that a striker scores a goal. So, but he's looking at the effort you make. They see your ability. The effort that you make, you put into the game, even if you do not have the chance to score a goal. But they see that even if you're not in the right position, you assist for someone else to score the goal. And then your fighting spirit, how you dribble, how you turn, how you communicate with your teammate. So those are things that the coaches are always looking for. But if you do not have a good game, I mean, you feel like your game is not going well, and you got scouts out there, and then maybe you want to play rough or very tackling and whatever. No, that's not the right situation.
Yeah.
That's not the right thing to do. All you need to do, take it easy and play normally, and don't get angry over such thing, because it's very difficult for the scout to put you on his list.
I think to sum it up, we've had like be calm, be calm under pressure. Show yourself and work hard, but not in a way which is overly aggressive or let's say where you show frustration, but work hard indeed. So we've had a couple of those things, but what is that golden, like, this is the first question we wanted to answer. What is how do you stand out? Like, if a coach or a scout is looking for someone like to stand out, they're looking for these people that stand out. What is like that thing? Like, what is the one thing? And I know it's a hard, maybe a difficult question that people can answer like generically, be calm and all this. But like, what is actually the one thing that you really should think to yourself when you're on that field and you're having that training or someone's evaluating you? Like, what is actually just the one thing, the one key thing,
Look, I would say if the confidence that you have to do
confidence.
Confidence, have the confidence.
We got it, guys. Confidence. Corby, is that what you wanted to say as well?
Yeah, I mean, I've had like actually coaches from like great clubs like telling me that the thing that they're always looking for is confidence and kind of like body language, very important, and then what's even more important is like, but which goes along with that is courage. Like when they're playing, like during the match or whatever, that they're actually like trying things, because most players in trials, they're afraid to go into a dribbling, try like shoot on goal or something, and so it's very rare that you have players that are courageous enough to do things.
Because I want to add to that, like, I've answered hundreds of messages about this very question, like, what should I do in a tryout, Nick? I got to try out, like, what should I do? And it's always been like people having this lack of confidence, because they feel like they need to do certain things and show certain things of themselves, and they start thinking about that and overthinking, and then by the time the trial comes, they're nervous and afraid, and they've lost all their confidence and courage because they think they should be, like taking on 5 players or shooting from crazy distances because they need to stand out.
Yeah.
But really, what it comes down to, and really, like what you just explained, Corby, is like, really you just need to show confidence and courage. And like, is that right, Mo? Would you explain?
Yeah, sure.
Just show.
It's normal, Actually, that's why we got 11 players on the field. You're not the only player on the field, so you need to cooperate with your teammates. See? You need to have that determination to do whatever you want to do. When team works together, when you work together as a team, you get a better result. But you cannot get a ball alone and you want to go, like I call that you want to go through the lion's den alone. You know what is going to be the result of that. If you go into the lion's den, they're going to eat you up. No defender is going to allow you to, take on 1, 2, 3, without, dragging you down. So all you need to do, you're going to have to be like a team player.
Yeah, because if I can expand on that, sorry,
Yeah.
like football is a team sport.
Yeah.
There are 11 positions on the field,
Yeah.
and everybody has their own unique character and thing they bring to the game.
Yeah.
You as a player, you don't need to bring everything, because everybody's their own character, their own self, and what you got to do is just be yourself and show that on the field, and that's being confident.
Yeah.
That's being confident.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, coaches are, I mean, for the most part, when they are, like, scouting for players, they are looking for one position. And so what you need to do is just fill out what your position does. So if you're a winger, you have to be great at the things that a winger does. You don't have to, like, score 100 goals or whatever. Like, you just have to, like, do those things great.
Yeah.
And the thing that we said with courage and confidence, that's just like a generic answer that works for all positions, but obviously you gotta be great in what you do in your position.
That's why it's always important. Players, I'm just saying this, it's always important that when you go for a trial, make sure your first touch on the ball should be a good one.
Yeah.
Your first touch on the ball,
This-
it opens all your game. It gives you that zeal to go and do more.
Well, let's get into the next one then.
Yeah.
This is the next topic. We've just covered. We've just covered what you need to show,
Or what a coach is looking for.
what coach is looking
Yeah.
for. I think we've all agreed that it's confidence.
Yeah.
There's a big part. Just be yourself,
Yeah.
and just to add to that, if you end up not getting, we can get into this later. But like, if a coach ends up not saying yes to you or whatever, then it doesn't matter. You keep going.
Keep going.
But we're gonna get into that for anyone who's asking. So the second thing is how do you actually prepare for a trial? Mo, you just started on with the like first touch thing and how that's important.
Yeah.
But before all that, like how should you actually prepare?
First, you're gonna first start with the mental ability. Mentally. Okay, you're gonna have to prepare first mentally.
Yeah.
Then before you go to the physical side and whatsoever. Because if you're mentally prepared, your mind is going to be put, exactly on what you want to do. It's going to be set on what you want to do. So you have to go and approach the game positively. You don't have to have any doubt of whether you're going to succeed or not.
Yeah.
If you have a positive, approach, that mental ability, that I'm going to this trial, I'm going to succeed. So that approach should be one of the first things. This is how you prepare. It's going to be the first thing that you put in mind that, look, I'm going to prepare towards this. So I'm going there to do it, and then you go step by step to get your physical, body into shape.
Yeah.
So that's it.
It's like a foundational thing because let's say, because today, what's the day today? Today's May the 15th.
Yeah.
Let's say there's a tryout on July the 1st for a new team that Zach, 13 years old, is preparing for. It doesn't matter if you're 13 or 23. It doesn't really matter. But the first thing is that there's going to be a trial on July the 1st. And before you act in a way like doing the training or preparing physically or whatever, it comes from your head, like what's going on in your head, because that's going to affect every training that you do, and everything that you do to prepare for this trial comes from your head, and that's why every thought from the day that you know about the trial, you sign up and you know that you got a trial in 40 days or whatever it is, that every thought that you have about that trial is a positive one.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because the thoughts precede actions.
Yes.
A famous quote by I don't know
Exactly.
who.
Yes.
Thoughts precede actions.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just such a common thing that I've seen on Snapchat and Instagram messages is like, hey, Nick, I'm so nervous about this trial. I don't know if I should even go because I'm so nervous, blah, blah, blah. But it's like these people are kind of failing in advance because they have these negative thoughts about, oh, I'm not going to play well or whatever, and they're setting themselves up to fail. And you've seen this so many times, Mo,
Yes, yeah.
with all the players you've trained, and even some guests that we've had here. We've really had to change their
Yeah.
mentality with how they approach their trainings and everything and games, because they come in the house with this mentality, right?
Yes.
And they leave with a different mindset.
Yeah,
Of like,
yeah.
anyway, I'm rambling on too much, but I just wanted to get that out. Like, how do you have this positive mindset of, you know?
Some of the players are not being advised on what to do. Like a couple of players that have come over here for one-on-one training are always complaining. Yeah, how do I do this? How do I get my football to the top? And I told them that you're lacking self-confidence, because your self-confidence is one of the things that you're lacking, because this is what, because you kept thinking of your negativity approach to the game, and when you have that, it's going to affect you. You think that a player is like, what you do? Messi is like playing with the ball, like eating a cake. What do you think? Because this is something that he practiced. It's all about preparation. He put his mind to it. There's, look, I'm going to practice how to do to give a banana chip like Beckham, the Beckham type of swing, in swing. Okay, you put your mind to it that, look, I'm lacking as a winger. I'm lacking this kind of swing also. But once you put your mind to it that I'm going to do it, I'm going to practice it, and you go out there and do it, the more you practice it, the better you become. So you don't have to defeat yourself. But one of the points is self-defeat, because that is going to play on you a lot. You don't have to have a self-defeat, in yourself. All you need to do, approach it in a way that you think, if Kobe can do it or Nick can do it, I can also do it.
Yeah.
This is it. So you see, put yourself in the same category, in the same area with like.
Be positive, guys. Come on.
This is it. See, you don't need to be downhearted. Whether you are skillful or not skillful, you can still do it. You're gonna have to be 100%. Positive. I'm always repeating the word positive because this is the key.
And
This is the key.
We've seen so many players that and in my lifetime too, like they have all the technical and physical ability and everything, but mentally on the day they're like very nervous, very like jittery, like not playing with confidence at all, and it's just the thoughts. It's simply thoughts and overthinking. I hate this. People overthinking all the time about something that hasn't happened yet, and it's just Corby, you gonna add something? Sorry.
Sure. I mean, like I remember when I had Charles back then, that was always the biggest issue for me. Like on the day I would get so nervous and not try out anything. Like when I was actually like playing, I wouldn't do the safe passes or whatever. I wouldn't try anything, and so at some point, kind of that came from my dad. Like he took me. Like let's say I had a trial in 2 weeks. He would take me to like actually watch the team train before, so that I actually know, okay, on Tuesdays that's usually how their training looks like. On Thursday that's what they do, and so I knew, okay, I have the trial on Tuesday, so I kind of knew already like which exercises they will be doing during that training. And then I could work on exactly those things. It's like if you have a test in school, and you already have know the questions, and you can really work on like learning everything about like what you have to do, and that helped a lot for me. And then I had the confidence to go into the training, and because I already knew the exercises, so that worked for me.
That's a great tip.
Yeah,
actually. So if you do have an organized training like that, then make sure you follow Corby's tip.
And even like nowadays, for example, I know like UK football trials, they have like a YouTube channel, so you can even see probably what they do on their trials or whatever, or even like watch, like go there and see what they do. Yeah.
Um, so I think that's the biggest thing, the mentality part, and that starts everything. It's like a chain reaction of everything. But physically now, with past the mental part, what do you need to do physically and technically in order to prepare for your tryout? I think Mo, you'd be the best to answer this. Maybe to start answering this is just go through what we did in the 100-day challenge.
Yeah.
If you guys had ever watched the 100-day challenge on YouTube, it's something that I did in order to try get a professional contract in 100 days. Me and John Moses, we worked together to prepare. And the first 30 days of that challenge was working on preparation, on training, on doing lots of one-on-one individual stuff. And I mean, what do we do, Mo, to begin with? I guess that first phase, in the preparation for the tryouts that were to come in days 40, 50, 60, that first phase was the physical part.
Yes. Firstly was before the physical, part of the preparation is the discipline. And when I say discipline, that is your timing. The time you wake up, or when we say 7 o'clock, that has to be 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So the discipline. And if you're disciplined, you got everything on track. Discipline. There is nothing without discipline. Discipline comes first. And guys, physically, you're gonna have to be prepared to get tired. When I say tired, even though you're not gonna die, I always told Nick, do this. Even when you get tired, it's not gonna kill you. He was always willing. I'm taking an example because I work with him. He was always willing to go the extra mile, to do more. Guys, I pushing until sometimes I felt sorry for him.
What?
Yeah. I sometimes felt sorry for him, but actually it helped him a lot. Yeah. Sometimes he woke up in the morning, he said, Mo, I'm sore. I said, yes, I'm sore. It's like pointing to where, all part of his body and whatsoever.
I couldn't even wake up.
But when that happens, which means the training is getting into your body. You don't have to, you don't have to give up. You always need to, don't just overdo the training that is not necessary. You do it, you're going to have to plan it. So, the physical part of it, because we did the training like 1.5 hours, it was just physical. We didn't do a lot of, even though we did with balls as well, but it was the balls part was, limited than what I was doing with him, because the building of his muscles, everything was involved, and his endurance, because when you are not fit, you don't have a good heartbeat. You're going to run 10, 15 minutes in the match and you're gone. So these are things that you're going to have to prepare towards. First you start little by little. I made him to run, jogging, to get his heartbeat, moving fast. So he jogged around. I timed him, and then after that, then I did my my little kind of magic with with the cones, where he was very good at, prepare his the leg walk. You're gonna have to be very strict on your legs, because on the field of play it's a lot of running. Football is not just walking, so you're gonna have to be very, very much prepared, and that's what we did. So when you go on the physical side, always learn to stay out of injury. Give that kind of training to the player where he's not going to sustain injury, because it's very important. And when there was a muscle pull or so whatsoever on the player, we knew exactly what kind of an exercise to give him so that he will be properly fit for that training. So don't overdo training that way, that will kill your give you that kind of muscles that you wouldn't be able even to lift up, like a 50 kilos.
Let's say we got a six weeks to prepare for a trial. The first phase is stamina, right?
Stamina.
How long does this go for?
Look, actually, if we got 6 months for that.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. 6 weeks. Actually, the first week it's all going to be just I want to get your heartbeat, your endurance.
Just endurance. Yeah, lots of running. Fitness.
Jogging. A lot of jogging. So long distance jogging. That's why I always did. I also join you so that to give you the motivation. So you do that running first. Do the running, and when you get your heart, your heartbeat, functioning very well, then later on, then you come to the shorter runs and this and that, because you cannot start, shorter run without having endurance. No, so if you got 6 weeks to prepare, you're gonna start easily jogging.
So let's say first week
First, you're gonna start jogging.
is more long distance.
Long distance jogging, yeah. Long distance jogging, guys. You're gonna have to try to do that.
Week 2, let's say the second week.
Week 2,
Is-
this is something that maybe we try to play some, little ball, with the ball.
But it's more fitness work with
Yes,
Yeah.
with the ball. Because we do some sprints with the ball, or going around the cone like what we did before. But it's all going to be fitness. That involve fitness as well. Like sprinting for the ball, bringing it back, and then getting it back and bringing it. Like you line up the balls over there. All involve running and this and that. And then so if you do that, then you go to the tail week where you're going to have to do kind of building all your shoulder and whatever your thigh muscles and those kind of jumps and this and that, and you go into the fourth week where it's more like 100 meters sprints, but all these kind of drill, you got like break where you're gonna have to stretch and do that. The trainer is gonna plan this and tell you exactly what to do. But if I were training you, I'm gonna start with the jogging, and for the jogging, then you come down to the with the football, and then use the balls with that includes also like physical as well, but with the ball, fit work. Right, with the ball, and then from there, then you open up, like the explosive type of training, that is a sprint to the limit, to see how fast you go after all what you've done for the beginning, and then later on you come with technique with the ball, how to use the fit
And
work.
those on the Effective Academy online, traineffective.com. You guys can use the Explosive Speed and Power program. It's I believe a 4 to 6 week program that you use. It was created by John Moses himself, and it's based on the very things he talked about. So if you guys do have a tryout, you guys do want to prepare your fitness, your speed, your explosiveness, all the things that Moses mentioned here, the Explosive Speed and Power program in the Train Effective Academy platform. Anything to add, Corby?
I think in terms of training, Mo pretty much said everything that you need to know. But I mean, for me, what I just speak from experience. It came back to, I mean, knowing what I was gonna, because when let's say I looked at the training, what they did, and then I knew which exercises they were gonna do, then I specifically trained on those, and but stamina was always endurance was always the main thing, making sure that I could run and throughout the whole training, and that I didn't get tired, because for me personally, I think that's the underlying thing that always needs to be there.
Yeah.
And I mean,
you got everything.
Training, yeah.
And now you got everything, guys. Zach, the 13-year-old, he's got a tryout on July 1 in 40 days.
Wow.
He's thinking now July 1 has come. He's thought positively. He's been training every day, working on the physical part. He's fit as a fiddle. His technique is great. His explosiveness, everything is there. Now the day has come. What does he do? Or she? Let's call it, what's the girl version of Zach? Zoe.
Zoli?
Zoe.
Zoli.
Zach or Zoe? They're ready. Tryout day has come. What do you do? Corby, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's not too different than having a match actually.
Yeah.
So first things first, I think you have to make sure that you get enough sleep the night before. So go to bed early. Also the days leading up to it. especially the day before, your training shouldn't be too hard so that you're not tired on the day. Have good recovery the night before, like foam roll, stretch, do all of those things that you're fit on the day. And then you had a good night of sleep, wake up in the morning, usually have a good, like, very healthy breakfast. What I usually did after that is go for a walk, do some stretching. That's what actually the pros usually do before an important match as well. And then you go there. And then from the time, like when you arrive there, I think the key thing is your body language. So when that's one thing that I learned really early, that like actually coaches taught me, is like when you actually arrive there and speak to a coach, first thing that they're gonna give you their hand, like for a handshake. It has to be a firm handshake. That already tells them something about you.
A firm handshake, firm, strong handshake.
Yeah,
Like,
I love it.
the first time, like the first trial I went to, I like didn't do that. It has like a and then like I played well on the day, and then the coach after told me, okay, after the handshake, I thought you were gonna be shit, but then so that already it seems to be quite important, at least to some coaches.
Body language,
Yeah.
handshake, eye contact, all important things. I think the best way to think about it is just, pretend that on the day you have the same body language as, let's say, I don't know, Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo. Eye contact, strong handshake, and just body. What does his body language look like? Before he goes out on that field, what does he look like? And you never think of, say, Ronaldo or any other professional player, with their shoulders slumped, or they're frowning. They're happy. They're ready to play.
Be friendly, Be friendly.
They're ready.
Yeah.
It's done.
Be friendly.
Yeah.
Too, like it's like Kobe said, it's like like the practice thing you've been doing. It's similar to what you've been doing in the practice. You go out there, just be relaxed, shake hands, smile with the guys who you're going to play with, and this and that, and that's all. And then you give yourself good realization, as that Kobe said from the beginning, before a day before, the night before the game, And I don't know Zach, I don't know what kind of position you play.
Or Zoe.
Zoe. I don't know what kind of position you play, but it's sometimes good to in the position you play too. You're gonna also have to start thinking. You visualize the kind of play you're gonna play against. What am I gonna do to go around that player? Or what am I going to do to go around that defender? What do I do or to stop that?
And by the way, this goes into the very first thing you do in order to prepare for a trial, your mentality and your way of thinking, psychology.
Yes.
And I think more and more as the day comes, you start thinking more and more. How is the trial going? What am I going to do in the trial? And it's very important. You always remind yourself back to step one. Positive thoughts. Positive thoughts only.
Yeah, if you do that, you're okay, man. You're okay.
You're okay.
I'm sure Zach or Zoe, Is it Zoe? Zach or Zoe, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
So just put your mind to it. Look, I know you're gonna come back with a report.
I love that.
Yeah. But look, guys, thank you so much. We did it.
Yeah.
So be positive.
And this is not fake, guys. Like, we've been on many trials, maybe over 50 trials between us, all of us, and we've made mistakes, we've had successes, but we can tell you from having so much experience with these things that these are really the steps. If you follow them, you will be successful.
Sure.
And it might not happen on the first try, because at the end of the day, one or two people are making a decision, and they have their own opinions of what they're looking for and whatever. And sometimes it's not going to work. You might be confident, you might do your best, you might think, oh, I actually had a really good trial. And sometimes you just don't get the call back. And in that case, you just got to keep going, because at the end of the day, whoever selects you on a team, that's their opinion, and you just got to respect that. And sometimes it might take you, 3 tries or 5 tries or 10 tries even. 10 tries to finally get a call back from a coach or a scout. But that's what's important in football and in life, is that you keep going and you never give up. And that's what we always try and preach here with Effective 2.
Yes.
And I can tell you guys, back to the Instagram and Snapchat example, with so many people contacting and asking the questions of how do I prepare for a tryout, the number one thing is that thinking part and the mentality you have, and that part of, oh, I didn't make it. No, you keep going, and that's how you be successful. And yeah, that's really it.
Yeah. So I mean, I think we've said everything, and so if there's any question or whatever, maybe later you come up with any question or so, we are here. We're gonna give you all the
stuff.
Yeah.
Corby, anything to add? Nothing? Something? I think I said everything. I think I said it all.
Yeah.
Guys, those are the all the steps you need to prepare for a tryout. Just another quick reminder: we have in-residence spots for June, July, August, and actually the rest of the year. If you ever wanted to come to London, experience what playing football is like, and not to just join any sort of football camp, but to really get a private football camp experience. I can attest to this, having worked with Moses, who would be your coach if you came. There's nothing like having a coach full-time with you, where you live, like where you're staying in a house. There's nothing like that same coach training you every single morning, every single day, twice a day, and having... If you feel good after watching this podcast or listening to this podcast or watching the show or whatever, then just imagine how it is 24 hours a day for 7 days, 14 days, 21 days, 28 days in a row. We've had like guests from all over the world come here now, from Sweden to Saudi Arabia, and most of them come back because of this very reason. It's a life-changing experience. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, Mo. I think you also would love these players listening, watching to come as well.
Sure.
Just give it a go, man.
I'm going to help them too. Yeah, that's why we are here. Not just me. Everyone is working together. So if you want your football, to reach the highest level, guys, we are here to help you. Your skill, your physical, your mental ability as well.
Everything.
We're going to give you all the guidelines, and then we're going to lead you towards that as well.
And I will be there. Corby is there as well, giving all his previous experience and all his top pro tips, as he said, for the experience playing in Germany, in the US, against MLS teams, against Bundesliga teams, everything at a youth level. So we're there. traineffective.com/in-residence.
Yes.
If you don't remember that, just go to traineffective.com and click on the link at the top of the page. Stay with us. We're there. So that's it.
Yeah.
Guys, until next time.
Yeah.
Stay
effective.
Right. See you. Mine. Good.